open up that Crystal Pepsi and get comfortable.
This is Dope Nostalgia.
Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 180 of Dope Nostalgia Podcast. And I'm your host, Naomi. And our special guest today has been on the show many times, and he's become a great friend, Joe Valenzuela of the blog Milk Carton Pop Stars. He's back, and I finally got to meet him in person. He's from the Chicago area, and I was down there for BlockCon. I called him up. No one calls, texts, and said, Joe, I'm coming down. And he made it happen. He came out to see me in Rosemont, Illinois during BlockCon, and we spent a night hanging out, having some drinks. We checked out a piano bar and all that and had the best time. We even did a little bit of drunken foolishness on the Dope Nostalgia Instagram. Check it out. Drunk falsetto in Rosemont. It's really fun. So Joe's back on the show, and we are talking about a pop star that you might not have known was a pop star because her big claim to fame was as an actress in the television show A Different World. Playing Whitley, Jasmine Guy also put out a solo album in the 90s, and I absolutely adored the album. So I thought, hey, let's talk about her. Here's a little background information on Jasmine Guy. Wikipedia moment.
Just try me.
Hey Jazz, what it sound like?
Sound like someone you work with. Boys, step cool.
Jasmine Chanel Guy is an American actress, singer, dancer, and director. She is known for her role as Dina on the 1988 film School Days and as Whitley Gilbert Wayne on the Cosby Show spin-off A Different World, which originally ran from 1987 to 1993. Guy won 4 consecutive NAACP Image Awards from 90 to 93 for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series for her role as Whitley. She played Roxy Harvey in Dead Like Me and as Sheila Grams-Benet on The Vampire Diaries. More recently, she played the role of Gemma, Richard Webber's friend and potential love interest on Grey's Anatomy. Jasmine Guy was born in Boston, Massachusetts to J. and William Vincent Guy. She was raised in the affluent historic Collier Heights neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia, where she attended Northside Performing Arts School. Her mother, a Portuguese American, was a former high school teacher, and her father, who was African American, was pastor of the historic Friendship Baptist Church of Atlanta, which served as an early home to Spelman College. He was also a college instructor in philosophy and religion. At the age of 17, Jasmine moved to New York City to study dance at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Center. Now, we know all about the acting credits, and you can always see them on Wikipedia as well. But we're here to talk about her music career. Although short-lived, she released one amazing solo album. Now, here's what it says. During the run of A Different World, Guy released her self-titled debut album in 1990. The album peaked at number 143 on the U.S. Top 200 album chart and spawned 3 hit singles. Try Me, this song here, made it to number 14 on the R&B chart. Another, Like My Lover, made it to number 66 on the U.S. chart, Billboard chart, and the R&B chart, number 9. And Just Wanna Hold You, the ballad, number 34 on the U.S. Billboard chart and the R&B chart to number 27. Now, here's some personal stuff from Wikipedia. Jasmine had a close friendship with rapper Tupac Shakur. They met during his guest appearance on the sitcom A Different World in 93. Shakur recuperated at Guy's home after he was shot in 94. Guy appeared in his music video Temptations and later wrote his mother's biography, Afeni Shakur, Evolution of a Revolutionary. Guy married Terrence Duckett in 1998, and the couple had one child, a daughter named Imani, born in 99. In 2008, People magazine reported that Guy and Duckett were divorcing after 10 years of marriage due to irreconcilable differences. Guy and her daughter subsequently took up residence in Guy's childhood hometown of Atlanta. Let's welcome our good friend Joe Valenzuela back to the show. Always make sure to check out his blog. It's still up there. It's called Milk Carton Pop Stars, where you get to find all the little tidbits about all the people who made music in the 80s and 90s. Welcome, Joe, to the show.
Back to the base.
Joe's back. Yay. I'm so happy to have you on the show again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Anytime. I want to tell the folks about our amazing chance to finally meet like a month ago.
I know, it was so much fun.
I live, well, I don't know, probably 3,000 kilometers from you, whatever that is in miles,
Right.
I'm going to say.
A
But
lot.
yeah, so Joe lives in Chicago. I live in Edmonton in Canada. It's a big distance, but I was going there for BlockCon and I was like, this is my chance to hang out with Joe as well. And that's really cool. Like if we can make it work. And it happened. And he came all the way to Rosemont to visit me.
I did.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
got to meet some of the New Kids crew, your fellow
Yes.
fans that you were there with. So that was fun.
My fellow blockheads.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm sure I've told many people all the time, like one of our friends there, Adrienne, her and her friend Chris host the show Rat Tail, which is a YouTube show, which is just incredibly awesome. Blockheads and non-blockheads would enjoy it. They get drunk and they react to New Kids and similar videos.
Okay.
So
I did subscribe. I just have to like check out.
yes, I'm always
There's-
encouraging our listeners to subscribe because if you like this show, there's a good chance you'll like that show.
Awesome.
But
And-
the funny thing is we had a great night that night. We went out for drinks. We went to that, I think it was like a tiki bar.
Yeah, tiki/piano bar in one.
One side of the wall was tiki, the other side
Right.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a little sloshed, a little
I
bit.
did too. And I know there's some fun video out there.
Out there. I've been putting pieces out there into the universe of our shenanigans walking back to the hotel. We may have been singing really loudly and possibly obnoxiously, but I think people liked it.
I think they did. I didn't realize we had an audience until we were done.
We were walking by some people, weren't we?
Yeah.
Singing. Yeah, maybe I was a little drunk because I can I just remember like singing and waving at people or some shit like that.
It was a group of like, I don't know, like 5 or 6, just like definitely, I don't think they were there for BlockCon gentlemen, and they were probably like, what the F.
Look at these two drunks. Oh, how
know.
cute.
Singing in
But-
falsetto like it's 1989.
If you'd like to see our singing clips, you can go to the Instagram for Dope Nostalgia, and it's the drunk falsetto in the Streets of Rosemont series.
Oh, it's a good time.
It was so fun. And you know what? When the next day, when my friends were like, "Oh, what did you guys do last night? How was it?" I'm like, I showed Adrienne first. I showed her that the first clip, just the tiniest little clip, and she could not stop laughing. Like, I'm like, okay, then this is going to be a series. We're gonna release little bits and pieces of it at a time.
I forgot how many songs we sang, but I'm sure there's enough to make a whole series.
Oh, but where's Donnie? He's at the park playing ball.
If
Thank
you know,
you.
you know.
If you know, you know exactly.
And I know your listeners know.
There's a good chance. But yeah, no, Joe, it's nice to finally meet you. So hopefully, you never know. Like, I like Chicago. I can always come back.
All
We can hang
right.
out again.
Sounds
the
good.
in our social distance over here through Zoom, I wanted to talk to you about an artist today that we've talked about before,
Right.
who a lot of people don't know she made an album, but she was quite famous at that time for being a TV star.
Correct.
Her name is Jasmine Guy. She played Whitley, the popular character on the show A Different World, which was a spinoff of The Cosby Show. Now, you had that album, didn't you?
Of course. I have what should I call it? An affinity for actors and well, mostly actresses who sang like for the dual careers, like especially from the like late 80s, early 90s. There were so many, like I don't know, like Nia Peoples, Tisha Campbell, and of
Mhm.
course Jasmine Guy. I felt like everybody was recording an album back then, or like in talks to record an album, but like, some had moderate success, others did really well, and others just came and
Mm.
went. And the funny thing about Jasmine Guy is she had moderate success. It wasn't like, the album came out and it flopped. So
No.
yeah.
No, it didn't flop. It didn't at all. And actually, like the music itself was good. That's why I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah.
It's an album I can still like listen to and enjoy. I've been scouring the internet for information about the album, reviews, interviews, and there's not a lot said about this album. So I guess it's upon us to really bring it up. I would say there is another. Now, of course, you had your own online blog with I can never say this without stuttering. Milk Carton Pop Stars, and that's how you and I got to know each other.
Right.
There's some other blogs out there as well that are kind of doing a Where Are They Now situation, and that one of those is called Rare and Obscure Music at WordPress.
I do remember them.
Yes. I've reached out to them in the past to see if they wanted to come on the show as well. So maybe one day, but they definitely did a write-up about the album, just kind of explaining a little bit about her background and how it went. So Jasmine Guy, of course, from Boston, Massachusetts, was well known for playing Whitley Gilbert on A Different World. She released her self-titled debut album in 1990, and it didn't do too bad. Like the album itself only got to 143 on the Billboard 200, but she had 3 singles off of it that actually charted. Not well, but they charted. Okay, so Try Me. Oh, it didn't even make the Hot 100, the first single.
It didn't? I thought it did.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It peaked at number 14 on Billboard's Hot Black Singles chart. Now, they literally had a Hot Black Singles chart.
Yeah, so
That's
I think it eventually,
racist.
I know, it became known as the R&B charts.
Oh, okay.
And it was just
Well.
more focused on what like R&B radio was playing.
Yeah.
But I mean, back then it was like everything was played on the radio. Top 40 it wasn't like one specific genre. It was like
Yeah.
pop, dance, rock, alternative. It was just everything. So I don't know why it was so segregated, but I remember when that song came out and just like, oh my God, this is such a cool song. And, it was like New Jack Swing. And that's why when I'm seeing that it didn't even like chart on the Billboard Hot 100, I was like, God, but I remember it being huge and like hearing it all the time. But
yeah, you would think there was like, first of all, she's got a built-in audience with her television show. And I figured all her fans on the show would be so interested, and especially when the first single drops, to pick it up, listen to it,
and I have it here because I'm a dork and I always like pull out the vinyl when we're talking.
You have the vinyl single of Try Me.
Yeah, Try Me.
That's fantastic.
Like in my head, I always just hear ex-girlfriend, you sing.
Yeah. Well, the people behind her and producing and recording with her on this album were huge in the music business. Full Force being
a
huge production team. If people don't know about Full Force, not only are they credited with having one of the very first New Jack Swing songs of all time, but they've written and produced for so many artists since, including Samantha Fox, Patti LaBelle, Britney Spears, James Brown, Lisa and the Cult Jam, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Wild Orchid. It goes on.
It goes on. The song with Wild Orchid. They even did a song with Toya Jackson.
Did they?
Yes.
The time they spanned in music history too. Like they've been writing songs for people for probably over 30 years.
Oh, I'm sure. I forgot that they were still doing stuff like past the 90s, because it's just one of those acts sometimes you associate specifically with a certain decade or two.
Yeah, which makes sense. But their biggest, I think, successful hit was probably the Backstreet Boys song "All I Have to Give" from the '90s. It's probably their most profitable and hugest single that they've ever written.
Oh, I didn't even know that. In my head, I was thinking like, "Naughty Girls Need Love Too" by Samantha Fox. In my head, that's the song. That's the most successful.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Who fucked the charts?
Right?
This is successful in my head.
In my heart.
You rule the charts in my heart. Thank you.
Exactly. Or Lisa, I Wonder If I Take You Home. That was huge. That's like
Mhm.
one of the first big freestyle songs. And so whatever. I mean, good for them though, that they were able to, you know, break out of different decades and have a huge hit with the whole teen pop craze of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah. So they just kept giving her. But that's so Canadian to say, sorry.
Okay.
But okay, going back to Try Me. Where was I? I get lost. I knew I took a segue and couldn't come back. So I'm a full force. Okay, so she had big heavy hitters behind her on this album, really strong songwriters
Oh yeah.
and production team. And you mentioned Ex-Girlfriend.
Yes.
Are you a fan of Ex-Girlfriend?
You know, I remember them because of the song, but I'm trying to remember if I remember any of their hits.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the name and I remember them being around, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I feel like their album came out around the same time or shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say yes, but I don't want to like misquote myself.
That's okay. But some things I noticed when I re-listened to the album this afternoon because I wanted to be fresh with it. I like that there's more upbeat, up-tempo songs on it, more New Jack Swing than there is ballads.
Agree.
I'll just touch on a few points and then I want you to, tell me about your observations as well from the re-listen. One thing I noticed in the song, which was one of the singles, track number 3, Don't Want Money. They performed it on Arsenio Hall. So I watched the video of that too. And automatically I heard the rap. And what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear that rap?
MC Scat Cat.
100%.
Right?
It's MC Scat Cat.
I thought it was
Paul Abdul.
Yes.
Because it's Oliver Lieber, who is the producer and writer of the track, which means that's the Wild Pair. The Wild Pair is MC Scat Cat.
Oh, that's what the Wild Pair. They did. Did they do Stacey Earle's album too?
They shared Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I love Stacey Earle.
Yep. I had one of the his name's One Gun. He was a member of that, the Wild Pair. And he was on the show, talked a bit about because there was more. There were 3 people who voiced MC Scat Cat. 3 different people. But you can definitely, and he was one of them, but you can definitely hear that all over Don't Want Money. And I'm like, damn it, she's like Paula now. Nice.
And speaking of,
and for all you on the audio world not seeing the video right now, you've got the maxi single vinyl of Don't Want Money.
I don't even remember this being released as a single, but I saw that it didn't chart anywhere, like not even like the R&B chart.
It failed to chart anywhere apparently, but it's a great song.
It is. And I actually picked this up at like a record collector's show. Like there's always this one guy that has like dance singles for like $1 and I'm like, oh my god.
Look at those treasures, okay. What does it say? Is there any interesting information on the credits or the notes in the back of the album?
Let's see. So there's different remixes of it. There's a Powerhouse mix, Cash Money extended mix. So it looks, I have to go back and play these remixes, but the only interesting thing is that the B-side or the extra song they included was Johnny Come Lately, which is also a Full Force production.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't really say anything.
The fun thing about the 90s is every single, whether you bought it cassette, CD, vinyl, whatever, they always had a million remixes.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
It says the rap is by Taz.
Sounds like a cat name.
Maybe. But
The
it does
rap is
say,
by Taz?
yeah, it does say Don't Want Money produced by Oliver Lieber for the Noise Club Inc. I don't know if that's what they were going by back, or what he did when he was solo.
There's a lot of names involved there, but the ones that stood out to me was they didn't use the Wild Pair. They didn't use that name, but they used the name, obviously, Oliver Lieber, who worked with Paul Abdul. And that one voice is definitely an MC Scat Cat.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that mystery's been solved.
If anyone's listening to the episode who's like expert knowledge on MC Scat Cat, get back to us and tell us if you know anything. That
He had an album out too, right? Do you remember that?
I did a whole episode on it.
Oh my God, I gotta go back and listen to it now.
Yeah, that's when I had One Gun as a guest on the show and we talked about the solo album. But I bought that tape. I did.
I remember it, and I remember obviously the song with Paul Abdul, but I don't think I ever bought it. Just shocking because I bought everything back then.
Kick it.
Come on, baby, talk to me.
There's not a price tag in this world I can afford. Whatever you want, say it, and it's yours. Diamond pearls, the most precious jewels. $1 million house, a gold swimming pool. A butler, a maid, a chauffeur, and more. A summer home off the Malibu shore. The way I feel for you, I can't deny. So whatever you want, say the word and I'll buy.
You won't ever have to buy me. Fame and fortune don't make the man. The things that satisfy, you know you just can't buy. When will you understand that I don't want money? Money don't rule my world. Maybe it might sound funny. It's just that I ain't that kind of girl.
Yeah, you say that you're not that kind of girl. Fact is, you've been living in a different world. Cause in this world, money is the key. Without it, you're just another wannabe. Hey, Jasmine Guy, for you I'd buy anything that you wanted. So give me a try, and I'll prove to you that you belong to me. And we'll be living in the lap of luxury.
The glory that is YouTube. You can find like the original music videos of it and such. So I just love it. So Don't Want Money, there's that observation I made. There was another single that was a ballad that ended up being the biggest charting single from the album called Just Want to Hold You.
Right.
And I believe that James Ingram was involved in this song.
Right. It was a duet with him.
I don't hear his voice on it on the album.
Really?
I did it. Okay, so I watched the music video of it.
Yeah.
Just Want to Hold You. And I don't see him or hear him.
But there's a guy singing in it.
Is there two different releases or am I crazy?
Maybe.
You can call me crazy.
I distinctly remember hearing him in it, and I thought he was in the video. I swear to God, there's like scenes where he's in the video,
I
and
don't know, man. I
and
didn't see
she's
him in
like
the video.
doing like ballet or something. But I just remember this song was super popular, and they played this during the closing credits of A Different World. So maybe that's why this one was the breakout hit of the album.
Yeah, there's a good chance there. Now, if
Yeah.
you listen to the lyrics, I gotta look up the lyrics to Just Want to Hold You because oh my goodness, they're terrible.
I was gonna start singing it. You're the very best I ever had.
Are you gonna please whip out a vinyl of this?
I don't have this one on vinyl. I don't know if there were like remixes of it, or well, now it's like I have to track it down because if I need all of them.
It's pretty. Okay, it says it's featuring James Ingram. I'm gonna have to listen to it again because maybe I just
He's in it because there's parts that he sings like the verses of.
okay. It didn't do bad because it peaked at number 34 on the actual Billboard Hot 100.
It's top 40.
which means, yes, it made the top 40 of everything. So good, because she deserved it. I thought she made an incredible record. But this song, the lyrics, oh my goodness, I can't. Okay. It's like, okay, so basically it's kind of like Janet Jackson's Let's Wait a While. I feel like that's the same kind of avenue she's trying to go down here.
I can
Where
see
it's
that.
like, where it's too soon for us to do it. So let's just cuddle.
I guess I never really thought about it.
Let's just cuddle.
I
So
just
it's
thought
like,
she missed him.
no, it's you're the very best I ever had. I don't want to move too fast.
fast.
No.
Soon
Too
to let her-
soon.
Yeah.
Our true feelings show. And if we make love now, then you'll never know that I just want to hold you and I never told you that I want this love to last. So let's not move too fast. Okay. This is the I love you more than making love. So tell me what you're thinking of. Like this was written in 10 minutes. I swear, it had to have been written in 10 minutes.
I love you more than making love. So tell me what you're thinking of. Am I more than just a fantasy? 'Cause I'm hurting, boy, can't you see? Oh, that I just wanna hold you and I never told you that I want this love to last, so let's not move too fast.
I'm an idiot. Here's James Ingram.
I want you. Oh, I need you. And I'll be yours for the rest of my life. I want you. Yes, I need you. And I'll be yours for the rest of my life.
Okay, now that I'm reading the lyrics, I see the part where he sings on the song. It's in the bridge. They sing like kind of back and forth to each other.
Oh, I want you. I want you. I need you. I need you. And I'll be yours for the
Yeah.
rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's
go
it?
into the bridge. That's the featuring.
He only had time for this part,
Right?
I guess. Even though, yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, like, I know it was the big hit on the album, but I really don't want to listen to it again.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Dope Nostalgia listeners, I love you and I thank you so much for being a part of this show and its success over the last 2 years. We have what's called Patreon for those who want to support the show financially. For as little as $1 a month, you can become a subscriber and get bonus content, early podcast release, all kinds of cool behind-the-scenes stuff, and more. There's different tiers of membership starting at only $1 a month. And we even have some special merch for you guys who are in it for the long run. So please join our Patreon. It's at www.patreon.com/dope nostalgia.
It's a conspiracy.
It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network and happily powered by ATB.
We are a bi-weekly podcast that aims to discuss selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more without coloring the topic with our conversation, until the very end of the episode.
We also feature beer reviews, lame jokes, bad puns, far too many 80s movies references, geek culture, and general nerdery.
Our real aim is for fun, inclusive content that doesn't take itself too seriously.
you don't have to be blisteringly paranoid of mind control to enjoy a chin wag with your old pals, Greg, Charlie, Andrew, the Irish Madman, and our podcast puppies, Kylo and Ren.
It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network powered by ATB.
I know my parents loved me, stand behind me, come what may. I know now that I'm ready, yeah, for I finally heard them say it's a different world, ooh, than where you come from. The city is now, yeah. Here's our chance to make it. And if we focus on our goal, you can decide, we can take it. Hey, just remember that you've been told it's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world. Where you come from. Ooh, 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 then where you come from.
I love the upbeat tracks on this. I love the New Jack Swing.
Right.
Great. Love it.
And
Now-
there was, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I want to let you talk now, and I've
Yeah.
been monopolizing the conversation
No, you're
because I was
fine.
just going to get those out because now I want you to give me all of your thoughts and impressions.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, like Try Me, I just remember that song coming out and I was like, oh my God. There was 2 versions actually made of the music video.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, because one's like a photo shoot, which was a very 80s thing, like, you know, like Cover Girls Show Me and like Sweet Sensation, the second version of Hooked on You. That was a very like, you know, thing of the time. But yeah, there was 2 videos and I just remember the song being really popular. I don't know if in Canada you guys had, I think it was called The Party Machine with Nia Peoples.
Maybe
And-
it was on cable or satellite, but I never got to see it.
It was syndicated here and it was like kind of like Club MTV in a sense, but similar in that they would have performances. It was more about the performances than like the, you know, the songs they would play of the people dancing. But I remember she performed it and she was like getting down with the choreography and everyone, the audience was like eating it up because I know she's a trained dancer and she comes from that world. So that, and you know, she was a great performer and she had a nice voice. So I think it just kind of was like all the elements. I mean, at least it worked on like 13-year-old me or however old I was for the song.
She was a triple threat.
Yeah.
And she
So I
never
just-
really got to do that on TV until
So it was too late.
apparently she was on Fame, but as like a background character. But the reason she can dance so well is she was trained by Debbie Allen.
Yeah, I mean, hello.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I just remember that song being really popular, and then the follow-up, Another Like My Lover, which is another like kind of like New Jack Swing pop song. That one, I think that one charted higher than Try Me, if I'm not mistaken.
It seems like it got better each
Yeah.
single that got released, which is usually the opposite trajectory of how things go.
Right. So let's see, Another Like My Lover. I have Wikipedia pulled up too while we're doing this.
Nice.
So that peaked at number 66 on the Hot 100 in the US, and then it peaked at number 6 on the R&B chart. So that was a huge hit. And then the other songs I like that really stuck out to me were like Everybody Knows My Name, which was
Yeah.
co-written by Cree Summer,
Free
fellow
Summer was
castmate of. We should do an episode on her music career because I love her music too. I don't know if you really got
she's
into it.
still into music. Like she's still making music, Cree Summer.
It's I think it's pronounced it's Street Fairy, I think is the album. I don't know if I'm saying that right or wrong, but sorry, my friend from Australia was with me last week, so my like fake Australian accent just came out.
It rubbed off on you?
Yeah, I kept telling her, I hope I get your accent by the time you're gone. And she's probably like, stop quoting Muriel's Wedding. But sorry. So anyways, Cree Summer, who was also a co-star on Different World. Of course, my dog's here barking the whole time we're filming or recording. So that was a cool song. Again, it's upbeat. And then there's a song called I Wish You Well, which features Cree Summer on background vocals, amongst others, and Jeffrey Osborne again.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal.
So I wonder, did he write anything on this? No, maybe he just the same producers, maybe that they worked with. I don't know.
Cree Summer has had more of a career in music and animation voicing.
Right.
Since back in the day, since she played the role of Freddie on A Different World.
Right. She was Penny on Inspector Gadget. She did the voice.
What?
Yes.
Okay, that's her biggest thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. But she's done all kinds of things. I think I don't know. I mean, if you look her up, there's a ton of roles she's done for doing voiceover. Huge roles in voiceover.
Yeah. So I think that's where she gravitated to.
Yeah.
She's very much well known as a musician as well. So
yeah, but I don't know. I just think overall, like you said, that the upbeat songs really stand out. I think there's like another ballad or two, and those, like when I was re-listening to it today, I was kind of like, these songs are okay. like it wasn't the most exciting. Like I love Just Want to Hold You, just because it's a very nostalgic song for me. And like I associate it with, I don't know, like that carefree time in my life, that prepubescent.
That's pretty much like the majority of what we think about when we do this show is just like a lot of these songs make you think about who you were hanging out with, what you were doing, like that's what music does. And it brings you back to a time in your life. So I get it 100%.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this dog a treat because he is not leaving me alone. I'm trying to think like if there were any other songs that like stood out, or I don't know, what else did we talk about? I said Everybody Knows My Name. Johnny Come Lately. I don't know why that song sticks out to me. I just remember
it was good.
Yeah, I just remember the beginning. She's like, Johnny.
It's an upbeat album. Yeah, there's probably no songs that are gonna like stick with me for life. But when I listened to it again after I hadn't heard it for years and years, stuff came back to me. Like some of the melodies came back to me. Like Don't Want Money, I think came back to me the most.
Okay.
That
I can hear that.
But I'm still have that rare and obscure music blog pulled up here, and it talks about what she did after, because something happened where she parted with the record label. They weren't going to put out another album, right? She continued acting, movies and stage and such after that point. Had a kid. 2008, it says her and her husband divorced. 2005, Jasmine Guy wrote a book about Afeni Shakur, Evolution of a Revolutionary, which is about Tupac's mother.
Okay.
This book was very well received, and it actually like had a lot of good critical reviews and such. So that was a big thing for her. I wonder if she knew Tupac's mother.
I think so, because I know for years her album wasn't available on streaming, and the only thing that was available were like some like poems or something that she was reading on one of his albums or something.
Oh, really?
I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm probably making that up. There's something. I just remember whenever I would look it up, I would just be like, why isn't this album available for streaming? And that was like the only thing I could find. Or some like she did a lot of musical theater too.
Mm-hmm.
But then today when I was re-listening to the album, and then I just Googled why didn't Jasmine Guy ever release a sophomore album? And then this article came up and it was just talking about the album. And this article said that in 91, she started recording a second album with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. But
Okay.
then the songs never saw the light of day. So I don't know if that's true, but I'd like to think it's true because I could totally see them working together.
There is so many hidden gems out there that never saw the light of day.
Yeah.
These albums that were recorded or at least demoed, and then the record company goes, nope, we're shelving it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So I always want to hear these so much. Like, how do we get them? Okay, so apparently Jasmine Guy and Tupac Shakur were very close. It's possible that they were dating at a point. And he had been shot previously before his death. He had been shot at Quad Studios in New York in 1994.
Okay.
He had a guest appearance on A Different World. That's when they first met.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So apparently, they had at least a close friendship, if not a relationship. So she was there for him after that first time he got shot.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that she developed a relationship with Tupac's mother, and that's a whole rabbit hole to go down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm just looking on Wikipedia, and it's just talking about like the musicals she appeared in, several Broadway productions, such as Is, Leader of the Pack, Grease. I remember her being in Chicago. Like I remember that being like in the press and a big thing.
The city or the play?
The play.
Okay.
Maybe the city too. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe I saw her walking down the street and I didn't even know. No, I'm sure.
Maybe.
She also kind of had like what I noticed when I was listening to it, she kind of had like a growl when she sang on some of the songs.
Yeah.
Right? Did you hear that? Like she's just kind of like
I love that. Growls make my fucking day. I love them.
I love it.
She had mentioned in 2006 speaking to the graduating class at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and said that she would be releasing a new album. Now she also said that the music business was the worst out of all the entertainment industries and intended to release the album independently, but we still haven't seen anything. I don't blame her. She's right. I'm sure it's pretty bad. We know from all the people we've talked to on the show what bad things happen with record companies. So I get it. But you know where I did see Jasmine Guy last? What the last appearance I saw of her, she was a regular occurring guest on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. She played a possible love interest for Richard Webber, but they never actually oh, no spoilers. Shit. Whatever. It's so hey, if it's been more than 5 seasons, we don't care.
I fell behind, so I don't know when I'm ever gonna catch up. It's okay.
Spoilers should have an expiry date. Anyway.
If it's been like over a year, I think you're good.
We're safe. Okay. She was a friend of Richard's, I think, from like AA meetings and such. And then I think that they were gonna hook up, but they didn't hook up because he's married and the drama, So, but she was looking good, looking healthy. It was good to see her again. She's a beautiful woman, really. Yes. Like I could a triple threat. I could have seen her be extremely successful in anything she really wants to do, but it just depends, like life, Bad record deals.
Yeah. But hey, we got an awesome piece of early 90s music that did come out of it. There's a series, it's a docu-series. God, I can't remember what the network is. It's like a super like cable only network here in the US. I want to say it's TV1. And they do these series called like Unsung, where it's kind of like about like artists that should have been bigger but weren't. Like they did one on like Shanice, they did one on Crystal Waters, and then they have like a Hollywood version of it. And there's an episode of about her, and they touch, briefly on the music career. So if you can ever find that, that'd be cool. I recommend.
I'm writing this down. What's the name of the show?
The show is called Unsung. Everybody you could think of, like the Jets and like Sheila E. And I remember the Jasmine Guy episode, they talked a lot about her being biracial and like, what all the struggles she went through, with, because, she was mixed and, she was like the only mixed kid, her and her siblings, like in a predominantly African-American community. So just, what they went through, and it's a cool show. I think you as like a music geek would especially appreciate it. And, just they talk to like everyone from their family to people that worked A&R at their record labels. And it was just really cool.
Well, I'd love to see what she's got next coming up for her. I mean, obviously she's still active in the entertainment industry. Her appearance on Grey's was not that long ago. She's 61 years old now.
Wow.
And still wonderful as ever. So, I love the album. I think it was a gem and it was worth talking about. So thank you for doing that with me.
Yeah, no problem. I love talking about, like I said, this rare little niche of actresses and actors who sang recorded albums.
Ooh, yeah. What was his name? Dwayne Wayne? Kadeem Hardison?
Yes.
It's interesting seeing the pictures of like what they're doing now or what they look like now. There's a cute picture if you click on Kadeem's of him and Jasmine now. Oh, their gray hair and stuff. So cute. They're adorable.
Love it.
Yeah, that was a good show though. And A Different World was one of the most successful spin-offs, I think, as well, because
yeah,
it was on a long time for back in the day.
Well, yeah, especially since its main star only lasted one season.
Right? Thanks, fucking Bill. Asshole. Anyway. Thanks again, Joe. I appreciate it.
Social media, yeah, we've got it. Send us an email, dopenostalgiapodcast@gmail.com. Twitter, Nostalgia Dope. Or on Insta, dope_nostalgia.
This podcast is licensed by SOCAN because we believe that artists should be paid for their work.